Happy Thursday. What is up? This is a 10 Hut Show with a side of whiskey. So today I am doing the show by myself. I am left alone. So I got two of the other guys, Will and Jose, that have some stuff going on. So today I'm taking over. And so, I want to say thank you for you guys that have been, reaching out, calling up and say, hey, thanks for the information on other things, or also giving me some feedback on what information you guys want to know when it comes to veteran benefits, right, locally within the Southern California, right? So, and talking about benefits and resources, today we have a great guest. His name is Santiago Leon. He is with the Wounded Warrior Project, and I was actually introduced to him by a good friend, Michael. So, Michael, thank you so much. If you're watching this, thanks a lot, man, for the actually, putting us in touch together. And so, I want to say that Wounded Warrior Project, I have not used your services like we were just talking earlier, but it's something that I definitely need to get involved with, because I'm sure that there's some benefits that is gonna definitely help me as well. And so yeah, man, I'm gonna pass it over to you, and it's all yours.
All righty. So just a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Santiago Leon. I'm an Army veteran. I have going on 21 years of service. I'm still in the Army Reserves, where I'm a senior instructor in the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy. Civilian side, I've been in workforce development for over a decade. A bulk of that time has been helping transitioning service members, veterans, and their family members learn how to market themselves out in the civilian world, because not everything we do in the military always transfers over, and sometimes there's that disconnect. So it's, my pride and honor to be able to help our brothers and sisters learn how to take care of their family once they get out of the uniform. So Wounded Warrior Project, I've been here for the last 3 years, love my organization to death. So we directly serve the post 9/11 era veteran. So if you are a post 9/11 era veteran with a service-connected disability of 0% or higher, or if you currently do not have a rating and you need help with getting a rating in, we are able to enroll you and help you out in that process. We even help active duty so long as you are within 6 months of getting out of the military. The other caveat to that is if you are in any way, shape, or part of the med board. So for the Army side of the house, if you're part of a warrior transition unit, if you're in the Marine Corps and you're part of the Wounded Warrior Battalion, or with the Navy, part of the Wounded Warrior Navy Safe Harbor program, if you're part of that, we're able to enroll you and you can gain access to all of the resources and programs that I'm going to mention. So I'm not going to get into everyone. Oh, you had a question?
I do have a question. So the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit, right? So I was part of it. When did you guys start it? When did the program started? At what year?
So we began way back in 2003, and we were talking small grassroots organization. So when we had service members that were getting injured downrange and they were going back to the medical, the stateside medical units, well, a lot of times all they had to wear was just the gowns that they had on them. So we had a small group of volunteers that got together and put together backpacks with basic toiletries, some shorts, some shirts, just so that way our men and women didn't have to only wear those small items. And then from that, we have grown to, we are now operating throughout the continental United States. We also cover Puerto Rico, Alaska, Hawaii. We even operate out of Germany. So pretty much if you're somewhere stateside, or even one of those affiliating areas, we have someone that is going to be able to be there to help you.
That's awesome.
Again, we have a huge footprint, and I do want to mention that we are nothing without our amazing donors. It is because of what our American people are doing allows us to provide everything we are able to for free to our wounded warriors and their family members.
Right, absolutely. So that the reason I asked that question, because 2000. So I got out in 2009. So 2008. Yeah, 2008. That's when I was in the Wounded Transition Unit in Hawaii, Schofield Barracks. But I didn't know about Wounded Warrior at that time, So, but I got to learn a lot. I was under the wing of the director of the VA in Honolulu, so I kind of learned a lot of the things that exist for veterans benefits, right? So that kind of gave me the hand up. But yeah, it's good to know that you mentioned that, because a lot of vets don't even know that if they were part of the program, they can actually, you guys have that transition streamlined process, right? So yeah.
And another huge misconception is that you need to have a catastrophic injury that occurred while in combat. And that's not the case. If you have a 0% rating, I'm sorry, you can get a 0% rating for a scar or for acne or for a skin. I mean, so long as you have something that is service connected or something that can be service connected, we're able to enroll you and you'll be able to gain access to our programs and resources.
That's good to know. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and talk about a few of those programs now. The first one I'd love to mention is our alumni team. The best way to describe these folks they're our fun bunch. They're the ones that host free fun events for our veterans and our family members. And their goal is to get them out of their houses and out into the community. So we host events that can be as simple as a picnic or community service events where we partner with amazing organizations like Habitat for Humanity or Mission Continues. We will also work with outside organizations like Travis Manion Foundation, Onward to Opportunity, because we know no one organization does it all. So we try to collaborate as much as possible. We'll host special events for our service members, veterans, and their significant others. This can be things like date nights, right?
Yeah.
Or we also host events that are solely for our veteran brothers and sisters, because sometimes when we always bring our friends and family, we don't interact with one another. So by limiting it to just us, we now are rebuilding that veteran community, that community that we once had in the military. So
right, of course, yeah. That's
our alumni team. If someone does get invited or accepted into a ticketed event, so let's say they go to a football game, a baseball game, Wounded Warrior Project is going to cover the cost of the tickets. Not only that, 9 times out of 10, we're going to feed you. Again, we're all about creating positive memories for you and your family member. We have the physical health and wellness team. They are an amazing core. Their whole focus is on increasing the health and wellness of our warrior community. So they will do their own events that can range from yoga to high intensity training, to CrossFits, to walks, to, again, something that's going to get your blood going and get you active out in the community.
Yeah.
They also host nutrition classes. So if you want to do things like learn how to make a healthy pizza or snacks for you and your kids, they're able to provide those trainings.
Yeah.
We have a mental health component, which is known as our combat stress recovery team. They work directly with our warriors that have either PTS, TBI, or if they are an MST survivor. They have a marquee event that I need to highlight, which is known as a Project Odyssey. The best way to describe this is it's kind of like going back to summer camp, right? So this is a 5-day event. We do separate it by gender. So we have one for males, one for females. But for those 5 days, our goal is to reestablish a community within that cohort of individuals and provide them tools and training that they may need should they find themselves back in the civilian world where they're feeling, where the level of anger that they may be feeling is not equivalent to the occurrence that happened, or where they have a lot of anxiety and they don't know how to cope. We provide them those tools in a fun and adventure-filled setting. So when I say camping, I'm not talking about, putting together shelter halves and things like that. We're talking about, again, summer camp, right? So you're talking
about glamping, right? Like that.
Exactly that, brother. I mean, there's going to be warm water, there's going to be showers, the whole nine. And part of it is, there is some aspects of therapy in it, but really it's just meant for a core of vets to get together and have a good time. Right. Now, we also have a couples Project Odyssey. So this is for individuals that are not in a state of crisis. It's just if you are in a committed couple, and I use that verbiage very specifically, you do not need to be married to the individual you are with. So long as you are in a committed relationship, you can do a Project Odyssey where we focus on communication. So you and your significant other are going to go out. Again, it's not meant to be a marriage therapy session or anything like that. It's meant to be fun and engaging, but they address some difficult topics. Things like how individuals with high level of PTS or TBI, sometimes it's difficult for us to remember things on a short-term basis, right? So we have our significant other that may get offended or may get hurt because when they ask us to do something, we forget. And it happens time and time again. So what our team does is they explain to them that individuals with these types of disabilities have, there's something there that makes it more difficult for them to convert things from short-term memory to long-term memory.
Right.
So they explain that and hopefully soothe over some edges. But then they don't let us get off the hook.
Yeah.
Then they turn the tables and they start saying, look, one of the reasons why your significant other is so upset is not the fact that this happens, is that they don't see you doing anything to overcome this, to get past it. So then they start providing us some tools so that way we're able to soothe over those things. And at the end of it, to increase that relationship bond that you have with that individual. Now, my program is called the Warriors to Work. We are all about employment. So we are the ones that will help you translate your military career into terms that civilians can understand, help you build that resume, help you connect to employers. We also help out with mock interviews, supportive services. So I don't know if you know this, brother, but sometimes when we get out of the military, we're not doing PT every day, and we have a suit that used to fit us while we were in service. We get out, and all of a sudden, that suit that we would have worn to that interview is a little tighter than we than we originally needed it to be, right? So what we're able to do is help out with either interview attire, work attire, tools, or technology. And another thing that I'd like to add is that every veteran that signs up with us is able to assign up to 3 family support members to their account. And a family support member could be a spouse, could be a significant other, it can be a child so long as you're over the age of 18. It could be a sister, a mother, brother, aunt, uncle. It can even be someone that is not biologically related to them. So long as that veteran deems that person part of their family, they can get that family support member tag. And I highlight this because if that family support member is also in need of employment assistance, everything that I would do for a veteran, I can do for that family support member to include those supportive services. And then the last program that I'm going to highlight is our benefits team. So this is where my boy Mike, he's amazing at this. So what they are able to do is help our veterans file the initial VA compensation claim. If they are looking to get their rating increase, we can assist them with that. And so long as we are the originators of that claim, if it is denied, we can even fight that appeal on their behalf. And as I stated in the beginning, we do not charge a dime for any of our services. There's no monthly or yearly membership. Our warriors' time and service is what pay their membership into our organization. So whether they use one of our programs or all of our programs today or 10 years from now, so long as they want to work with us, we're here to work with them.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's a lot of great programs out there. I know that Michael has told me about his department, getting helping veterans as far as getting the benefits, So the one thing that I really want to touch a little bit more now is the couple things, right? Because I think this is something really important. It's not there isn't many as so far for what I've seen that couples get together and nonprofits provide services for couples, right? To communicate better, to kind of reset things, right? So as far as like this type of program, like what do you guys go to? What do you guys, how do you is there certain areas you guys go to? Is this only in San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles? What do you
Wounded Warrior Project is more than national, because we all not only do we cover all of the continental United States, we do have a number of brick and mortar locations. So like our headquarters is out in Jacksonville, Florida. My location is out of San Diego, California. If there's not a brick and mortar location in your area, we have a field teammate that covers that area. So long as you're in continental United States, Alaska, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, we have teammates out there. And as I mentioned in the beginning as well, Germany. So we try to have a wide footprint, because we all know when you're in service, you're not always in country. So we try to be everywhere, or as many places as we can be. So if there's a veteran, if there's a family member, if there's a service member we can be of service to, we want to be there for them.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So as far as your department, what you work with vets, one of the biggest things, because I used to work for EDD, and I've dealt with many people trying to figure it out, how to get a job, what kind of jobs they should get into, and those always go based on county and based on the region you're located. So some of the things that you can recommend from what you've seen as far as where you at, what veterans should start maybe kind of look into, just in case they can't find that one specific job that they were doing in the military.
Right.
you know.
So you got on a dangerous topic, brother, because when it comes to workforce development, man, this is my jam. I love this.
Awesome.
I got into this field because I made pretty much every mistake you can when I transitioned off of my last set of active duty orders. I
Okay.
tried to find a job on my own. I had a single resume that I was using to blast across every job. I wasn't looking for a position. I was looking for a paycheck and a title. That's what I was caught up on, you know. And needless to say, I failed at it horribly. My number one piece of advice to any transitioning service member, any military family member, it all begins with networking. We've all heard of that term, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know. Yeah.
Well, that's a huge misconception, because usually what I like to use is put this out there, right? Pedro, do you know who Bill Gates is?
Of course.
Right. You know who Bill Gates. How does that help you find your next job?
Well, he doesn't know me, so
Exactly. Now, can you imagine if someone like Bill Gates knew who you were, knew what you were capable of, and most importantly, liked you? That's a game changer, right?
That is
so
true.
By networking, by getting yourself out there, by letting others know who you are, what you do, and through conversation, building that professional rapport with those individuals, that is what will change the game in your job search. Now, another thing that's important is knowing what you want to do. Again, I've been in workforce development for over a decade. And one of the most difficult types of individuals to work with is the person that tells me, I don't know what I want to do. All I know is I don't want to do what I did in the military. I can't point you in the right direction when you tell me that. So, one, you got to network. Two, get an idea of what you want to do, or at least give me an industry. If you tell me that you want to go into contracting, awesome. I got people in Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, General Atomics. I got Booz Allen Hamilton. I got recruiters I can plug you into today. But if you tell me I want to be a project manager, all right, well, shoot. Project manager in what? Because you could be a project manager in IT. And I'll tell you, being a project manager in IT is vastly different than being a project manager, let's say, for the county of San Diego, right? So the better you're able to articulate what you want to do, and you couple that with networking, this is when doors begin to open. Now, for those that are just getting out, if you don't have a degree, or if your degree is not in the field in which you want to do, this is where certifications come into play. This is where I got to give a huge shout out to one of our collaborating partners, Onward to Opportunity. Onward to Opportunity has over 200 certifications. 200 certifications that not only a transitioning service member 1 year getting out of the military is able to access, military spouses as well as veterans are able to utilize. So I'm talking PMP, HR certifications, the CompTIA suite, CISSP. So you're able to look at all those certs. They have to attend a 3-day transition course, and after that, they open up the online training to them. So you couple your experience with the certification, and now when you're out there talking to employers, you know the language of that industry, you know the language of that role, and your whole transitions will be that much easier.
Right, absolutely. You know, that's definitely true. I actually seen all these certifications that our organization has, and that's amazing. You know, everything from IT, especially when it comes to like those that want to get into cybersecurity. It's available, you know, to them. You know, I like how you mentioned about networking, because, and here's the thing that I always tell vets, right? Like, if you're gonna go out there and network, are you gonna network within the community that you're used to? Or you're going to network with those that are, especially, what is your objective, right? If you're looking for a job, you might want to network with outside of the veteran community, because you never know who you're going to meet. There's someone out there. And I always say this, I've done it myself. I've networked so many different events, from vets to non-vets in, meetings and events. And I can tell you that I've met, I had opportunities. I'm actually in business, so I have my own business, and that helped me a lot. So that's why we always educate: networking. Put yourself out there. If there's anything that you can do to, if there's like something you want to learn from this individual or company or whatever, just say, hey, I want to volunteer. I want a job shout or something, right? To just kind of get your foot in the door. And then, once you submit a resume, say, hey, I just submitted a resume, they'll definitely think about you, and they'll hook you up. Yeah.
And, this is something too that I get a lot of pushback from, right? You usually tell a vet or a transitioning service member, you need to get out there and network. And it's almost like there's a nasty taste to this, where you don't think we network in the military? Tell me, one of the first things you do anytime you get to the new unit, who do you try to make friends with? That supply sergeant, right? You hook them up with that bottle of bourbon, right? Why? Because you know that if that supply sergeant likes you, all of a sudden when you put in requests, it's amazing how things start showing up. It's the same thing out in the civilian world. The more you network, the more people are going to know, again, who you are, what you do, and if they like you, they're going to want to help you. Exactly. And I can also advocate for this, man. Our civilian population, they want to do more than just say thank you for your service. They want to help, but the thing is, if they don't know how they can help you, they're not going to do it. So by you talking to the amazing patriots that we have out there and letting them know, you know what, you have an awesome job. How did you get that job? And all of a sudden, through a simple question, all of a sudden you find a career path or a path to success that you can emulate. It really is that simple. You have nothing to lose when it comes to networking.
Oh,
especially when you have awesome tools like LinkedIn, right? Yeah. On LinkedIn, let's say I want to become a structural engineer. All I need to do is type in structural engineers on the search bar, click people, and I have a list of structural engineers that I can reach out to and say, hey, I'm a transitioning service member. I see that you're in this field. You have 15 minutes for a cup of coffee. And you can, with all the filters, you can find people in your city. You can find people that went to your colleges that volunteer in the same organization. So you already have a bunch of stuff in common. You leverage that. And next thing you know, you're building a positive reputation in your field. And Pedro, man, you said it as well. If you only network within your circle, and you're still looking for work, well, if you would have had an opportunity within your circle already, you would have been employed by now. So you need to continue to expand that network. And it's not that you go into these situations looking to get something out of it. No, what I teach my folks is when you're networking, you need to see what value you can bring to the people that you're talking to. The more value you bring to others, they show that I'm not here to take, I'm here to build a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's when the beauty of networking happens, because they see I'm not a taker, I'm here to give, I'm here to make this, again, a two-way street.
Yeah. Absolutely. Something I want to add, because he talked about asking someone on LinkedIn or asking someone at an event, like, what do you do? How do you guide into this? Just real thing. And I remember telling this one vet and say, hey, there's this guy out of, I think it's on TikTok or something. He literally goes and films and asks people, like, when they drive nice cars, and they ask him, like, what do you do? Just like that. And he became really famous. So anyways, it's just simple, right? Like, just what do you do? Can you tell me a little bit, how can I get involved in this career? And it's just that simple, right? And so I think that, and I understand, coming out of the transition out of the military is like, you don't know how you're going to be accepted. People are going to think something negatively about you being as a veteran now, because there's a misperception, right? Like what they think about vets. But, you never know. You just go out there, step out of your comfort zone, and just, your new mission. Like, that's what I tell people, with 10 HUD, our mission is to rebuild, restructure, and reinforce. And the whole goal is to help vets to build a new mission outside of the military, build the identity, who they want to be when they grow up. Because, we joined when we were really young. I joined when I was really young, right? So it's like, I did 12 years, and it's like, you never did technically, or for my situation, I didn't do something that I wanted to do when I was going to grow up. I joined the military because I needed to get out where I was growing up, right? I grew up in the Bronx, in the projects. And so, but it happens, right? You kind of lose your identity once you get out of the military. But again, just kind of go out there and just start networking and just be curious. And I think that's right there. That's how it helped me so much, being curious how others are doing it, because I want to see how I can do it myself.
And the thing is, brother, they are already part of one of the best networks you could ever be a part of, the military community. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey, I'm a proud Army vet. Love it, man. I have Army Star on my vehicle. I rep Army hard, But I'll tell you right now, if I have someone from the Navy, someone from the Marine Corps, and down the road when Space Force folks starts reaching out to me, I find
Yeah.
out that you also wore that uniform. I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. You're a brother. You're a sister in arms. I'm going to do whatever I can to help you. Most of us vets feel that way. Like, think, if you
Yeah.
have someone coming up to you, Pedro, and saying, I want to start my own business, I have no idea how to go. How did you do it? You find
Yeah.
out they're a fellow service member, and bam,
Oh,
right there, you're there to help them. That's how most of us think. Because what in
yeah.
the military, we are taught how to mentor those behind us, right? Those that are
Absolutely.
in that rank below us, because all we are is one IED, one sniper, one accident away from us leaving theater and that next person coming up. So we need to train those that are coming up in the ranks. You don't turn that off. For
Yeah.
most of us, we take care of our own. So yeah,
Absolutely.
man, it is. Once you find out someone is is a prior service, that is that easy saying, hey, from one vet to another, from one soldier to another, can I ask your advice and guidance? That's
Yeah.
the thing.
That's one thing that I've noticed a lot in a lot of the events that I've been to, veteran, focus, that we tend to help each other out. And I remember
Mhm.
having this conversation with a company. I said, at the end of the day, you're gonna see that vets if there's veterans within the company, you're gonna see them that they're gonna work with each other to help each other grow.
Mhm.
So that's how you start seeing this cohesion, and it's something that most civilians don't understand because they don't have that team player mentality, right?
Mhm.
And also having that I forgot the name, like the type of leadership. I don't remember, but it'll come up. But anyways, it's the kind of leadership, and we all have shown leadership sometime and point in the military, and
Mhm.
so that's we're used to. So another thing that I wanted to add too is for those that are watching this, if you're just transitioning out of the military, one thing that I do recommend, look for a veteran business network. There's one in Orange County. I'm not
Mhm.
too sure in San Diego, and I can tell you're going to meet a lot of entrepreneurs there, vetpreneurs,
Mhm.
and if you're looking for work or you're looking to start a business, this is a good opportunity for you guys to go and network with them, and who knows, you might get a job.
Yep.
So I've heard stories like that. So the never miss out on these events because it's really important.
Right.
So
Yeah. And I mean, right now, it is one of the best times to be a veteran because there are so many organizations that are here to help you in all levels. Because,
yeah,
yeah, you're talking about venturepreneurs. I mean, you have Bunker Labs, you have Boots to
yes,
Business. The Institute for Veteran and Military Families has their own veteran business
hmm
entrepreneurship program. The Rosie Network is an
yes,
amazing organization that was built originally to help military spouses start their own business, but they also are able to utilize their veterans are also able to utilize their services. So there is so
yeah,
much out there. And this is where, if I can be of service to any one of your audience here, please reach out to me. I guarantee you, if I can't do it internally within my organization, there's someone that I know or someone that I can get to know
right.
to help you get where you want to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you guys have any questions, you want to reach out to Santiago, here's the website. And also if you're on LinkedIn, which you should be on LinkedIn, here
Mm,
is his information. Definitely reach out to him and he gets you squared away. And so I wanna ask you a little bit because I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. This is something that
mm,
helped me. Everybody has their ways of
mm,
dealing with their transition, and entrepreneurship has actually pushed me over my limits, like really dig inside of me. And
mm.
I had many failures, but I pushed myself because of the mentorship that I had. Do you guys have anything out there on with the Wonder Warrior as far as like programs or anything that has to do with entrepreneurship?
So as of right now, we do
Mhm.
not.
Okay.
Um, there may be, and don't quote me on this. There may be something in the works where we're considering possibly. I can't put any more of those other
Yeah.
possibles. Building
Right.
out a program for that, but as of right now, we don't. But this goes back to our amazing community partners that if we can't do it in house, there's definitely a ton of individuals, a ton of groups that we
Mhm.
can help connect you to pursue that. Because I
Absolutely.
mean, the entrepreneurs, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, most even if there's not an organization near you, most local chamber of commerces
Yeah.
have a veteran component to it where you may be the one that builds it out, right? So Yeah, I love venturepreneurs. I like that term.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. So, hey, man, Santiago, thank you so much for the great information. If there's any, I actually got two more questions. I always forget. I always have Will reminding me about something. But the one question is anything you want to mention or say anything to the audience?
The number one thing is you are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
In the military, we are always in groups. Like we always have, at the bare minimum, we have our battle buddy, right?
Yeah.
But we operate in a team, to squad, to platoon, to company, or whatever the Navy and equivalent that they have there, right? But we're never alone. And when you take that uniform off for that last time, it could be freeing but lonely.
Yeah.
You don't have to do your transition alone. There are so many great organizations that are here where that community that you may feel that you've lost by being out of uniform, it's still there. You just need to go find it up. So don't do your transition alone. Once you're established, remember to pay it forward. And just use the resources that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I do also recommend for those that transition out, plan. So videos like this, keep in mind that if you're going to transition out within a year, 6 months, start reaching out to these organizations, start reaching out to Santiago so he can definitely start squaring your way. So you don't have, like me, I definitely had a tough transition. We didn't have those resources back then as much as we do now. So but definitely it's out there now. So the second question I had, this is the last question for you. What is your favorite MRE?
Oh, it has to be beef ravioli, without a doubt.
Beef ravioli
all day, every day. I can eat that 3 meals in a row. Especially that with the jalapeno cheese. You are good.
All right. So do you know what number is that?
I don't know, man. No, I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay. Yeah, but that's the one I target every time, beef ravioli.
Yeah, I'm a number 9 guy, so that's beef stew. So that's my thing. That's my favorite MRE. So yeah, so this is some of the questions we ask, everyone who comes on the show. But definitely, for you guys that have been watching the show, thank you so much. If you have any questions, go ahead and put in the comments. If anything, go ahead and like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel through 10hutshow.org. Until next time, Santiago, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate I appreciate the energy. I know you love what you do. I can tell, and we definitely need more vets like this to helping out other veterans get to the top, So until next time, guys, take care.